Structured data helps Google to better understand the contents of your pages and what your website is all about, so it can provide more relevant, helpful results to searchers. Google's goal is to provide results that match a searcher's intent, results that are contextualized to their particular query, location, and preferences. Since one of the main goals of SEO is to optimize your site for search engines to more effectively crawl and index, structured data is another tool in your SEO toolset that helps you accomplish this. So what exactly is structured data? It's a standardized format for providing information about a page and classifying the page content. Structured data is a markup language. A markup language is computer code that can be written, read, and understood by humans. HTML is an example of a common markup language that most marketers have at least some familiarity with. Like HTML, structured data communicates content in an organized way so that search engines can display that content in an attractive manner in SERPs. When talking about structured data, the phrase marking up often comes up. Marking up structured data means creating the structured data code. According to Google Search Central, Google uses structured data that it finds on the web to understand the content of a page, as well as to gather information about the web and the world in general. Structured data makes it easier for Google to understand what images and content are about, so it can accurately display that content in its search results. The way in which these results are visually displayed are called rich results or rich snippets. You can learn more about rich results in the resources section. Before you go any further, it's important to know that there are no guarantees that Google will create a rich snippet of your page, even when you've added structured data. Using structured data only makes a web page eligible for rich results. So, structured data is a tool you can use to tell Google detailed information about the contents of your web pages. The primary source of structured data markup is schema.org. Schema.org is the organization that creates the standardized language and rules used for structured data. You can search schema.org to find the specific markup you need for your particular page. Schema.org contains a large collection of different code examples, which website owners can then adapt to their particular preferences. For example, if you have a website that sells computers, you can find code on schema.org that allows you to show the price, stock levels, reviews, and ratings for your products. Schema.org is accepted and understood by Google, which is why we recommend using it. Google supports adding schema markup using a few different formats. The recommended format is called JSON-LD. JSON-LD is a script that can be placed within a web page to communicate structured data to search engines. There are other formats for adding structured data, but JSON-LD is recommended because it's not only Google's preferred format, but it's also less complicated than other methods. That's because with JSON-LD, all you need to do is place the script somewhere in the code of your web page. There are three main ways to implement structured data: work with a developer, use a plugin, or add it manually. Structured data is primarily implemented by developers. Since it involves writing and editing code, many marketers prefer to enlist the help of a web developer to do this job. However, if you're a marketer without any development resources, don't worry. You can still take advantage of the benefits of structured data. Not all schema markups are built the same. Some are simpler to implement on your own, while others require more work with extra properties that are either required or recommended. A good guideline to follow is the more recommended properties there are in a markup, the more likely you'll want to work with a developer. You can also add structured data markup to your site more easily using plugins. If you use WordPress as your CMS, there are multiple plugins available that allow you to add structured data to your pages automatically. And these are linked in the resources section. If you don't have a developer or the option to use a plugin, you can also add schema markup to your pages manually. This does require a bit of technical skill, so if you're very uncomfortable with coding, then we recommend outsourcing to a developer. If you do feel comfortable getting your hands in a bit of code, implementing schema markup can be quite straightforward. Here are the basic steps to add structured data to a page. In the head HTML of your web page, add a script element set to JSON-LD. Inside the script element, tell Google you're using schema.org structured data. Based on the type of content you're describing, tell Google which kind of structured data you're using. Finally, add all the required and recommended properties to give Google more information about the content being described. Here's an example of completed schema markup. Adding structured data may sound complicated, but fortunately, there are tools to help you. You can use an online schema generator to do a lot of this work for you. Simply pick the type of markup you want to create, enter the relevant information, and copy and paste the code into the head HTML of your page. We've linked a schema generator in the resources section below, which will help speed up the process and make it much easier. Google has a helpful tutorial that guides you step by step through the process of manually adding structured data markup to a page, which is also linked in the resources section. We recommend going through that tutorial so you can get a feel for adding structured data before implementing it on your own site. Finally, make sure to test your page by using Google's Rich Results Test and Structured Data Testing tool. Using Google's Structured Data Testing tool, make sure you've included the correct properties and you don't have any errors. You can either enter a code snippet if your page is still in progress, or provide a URL for a published page. Google's Rich Results Test tool will tell you if you've included all the necessary information to make your page eligible for rich results. You can also use either a code snippet or URL for this test. One helpful feature of this tool is that it allows you to preview how your page will appear in search results. Structured data is a great tool to add to your SEO toolkit that will help you stand out in search results, improve your click-through rate, and get a leg up on the competition. Once you've identified a couple pages on your site that you can add structured data to, take advantage of the tools out there to help you implement it. Then, monitor your results and see where you can make improvements.